Okay, folks, turn 15. We're doing pretty well overall. Battle in Yellow Caves, no casualties, wiped out a little bit of province defense, and we took this cave province, which is honestly not bad. Honestly not bad. And also gives us gold and gives us a fire gem and an astral gem. Fantastic. Very, very good stuff. So, nice province. I like it. I'm not going to end up keeping it. Unfortunately, this province is going to be given to Ulm as part of the deal that we had made. Alas. So, there's two princesses of the setting sun here, and I'm betting that he anticipates that I'm going to go and attack them. But the surprise is that I'm not going to do that, because I don't think Capcirco at 18 units. If he anticipates me doing that, he can move all of his soldiers of the setting sun to defend them, or he can just move them back. So I don't think I'm going to actually be able to take them. Instead, I'm going to skip over to Zanthe and take that province, which will also let me link up with this army, which is coming up. So Yakim, 4 mages, 21 Malaya Druzhina, a few random infantry, and a few random archers. That will bring my total strength, once you count these, up to almost 40 cavalry, plus the random infantry and archers. This commander, Obarak, is moving down here. He's going to pick up a crap ton more archers, shift over, grab some more Malaya Druzhina. He'll have 12 by that point. I may actually need another commander, of which I fortunately have a couple, so we're going to move a couple more indie commanders into there, and they can take those guys with them. These guys, meanwhile, can keep on casually wandering around site searching on a limited scale. And this guy, and we will keep feeding our scouts into Pythium. Pythium does have a fort here, and we got to see a few battles. So there was a battle in Mushwood. They've finally taken that. Mushwood it was occupied by wolves, so that was a random wolf attack event. So fine by that. Norfangs all moved in and took that province, and Salt Plains, Patala attacked. Salt Plains was a barbarian province, and actually what we saw here was an indication of, you know, man-eaters are pretty good expanders. They're not ideal expanders. He's had enough time to research up to Temper Flesh now, which was what saved him here, because these barbarians charged in, made absolute mincemeat of his Bandar. And then his god landed, but as you can see, they're landing a ton of hits. The Temper Flesh, fortunately, is keeping the damage down, but even so, by the end of the fight, he lost about half his hit points in that battle. So Pindar, if he hadn't had Temper Flesh up, Pindar might actually have died, which would have been pretty bad. Pretty bad indeed for Patala. And there was an arena deathmatch, and Viking Legolas the Vanjarl won it, and he got the Scepter of Corruption. So good on him. In any case, this is just my strategy. We're moving the cavalry up. We're going to pick up some siege shafts, some more cavalry, roll them all northwards. We should be able to pretty much clear out all the enemy troops. The only place I'm slightly worried about is these 30 Phyrophorites. To be honest, it probably wouldn't hurt if I were to keep this army here in the Yellow Caves for this turn, but what I'm actually concerned about is that they'll attack Annika. Now, Annika has enough province defense that between them and the Malaya Druzhina, I think I can probably hold it against 30 Thyrophorites. But, we'll see. In any case, I am calling my god, but this Eparch, I'll get 2 more Eparchs next turn. That'll give me a total of 9 points per turn. I'll probably grab 1 more and then swap back to Magi, I've decided. So having 4 of them calling at 12 points per turn, we'll get my god back in 4 or 5 turns, and that would be fine. My Palisade here will be done in 2 turns, so that will be done on turn 17. And will increase my production a little bit. And I do also need to set a fort here as well as there. So what I'm actually going to end up with is, I'm actually going to end up with 4 forts in a chunk, and none of them are going to have a ton of resources, unfortunately. But each one will be able to recruit a couple of units every turn. Each one will be able to recruit mages. This one will give me access to Onyx sorceresses, which is important. And this one, of course, will protect the throne, and that's vital. I must defend the throne. So that has to happen probably first. As soon as this one is done, that one has to, or as soon as I have the money, actually, that one has to go up. And we'll just kind of see what we can see. I think Erythia is planning to hold on in their capital and sort of form a last stand there. Certainly they're not really moving out their soldiers of the setting sun, although in their place I would aggressively move out to the woodlands this turn. Or I mean, if I predicted what I was going to do, if that makes sense, then I would try to move everybody down to Zanthe and kill this army before it can link up with this army, assuming that he sees this army, which he probably should. But if the two link up, then that will be significantly more military power than Erythia has, I think, in their entire empire. If he manages to kill this one by itself, however, he'll kill Capcirco, who is a pretty significant, you know, like someone worth taking out. And he'll also remove, you know, this is about a third of my total cavalry power from the game, which would help him tremendously. So, hopefully he doesn't do that, but we'll just have to see. In any case, I'm still researching Conjuration. Be 2 or 3 turns before I hit level 4, and then level 5 will be a few turns more after that. And I think I'm in pretty good shape right now, to be honest. You have an unmoving scout, so let's launch him up that way. So, in any case, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in turn 16. Okay, folks, turn 16. Both Midgard has declared Viking Legolas their prophet. Incidentally, Viking Legolas was the one who won the arena last turn. And Erythia has also declared a Mystic their prophet. Interesting choice. And there was a battle at Zanthe. The enemy did launch some troops out to fight us. This isn't actually a huge troop deployment. He's got a bunch of his Thyreophorites. I think it's Thyreophorites. He's got 1 Daduko with a bunch of fire gems. He's got some random heavy infantry, a couple of heavy cavalry. I think that's the province defense here. And then some Erythian hoplites, which may also be part of the province defense. I think this is all province defense back here, maybe? I don't know. No, Erythian hoplites wouldn't be part of the province defense. So this is the province defense. In any case, my cavalry blob charges in. We actually dodge the first 2 sulfur clouds pretty well. The next couple sulfur hazes hit us pretty squarely, but once again, okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? His troops just are not good enough to fight me. I mean, even his Erythian phalangites up here, they can fight me to an extent, since they have 18 prot, but not super well. And so basically all he's trying to do is he's trying to get troops up here to hold until I take enough damage from the poison and the fire damage of the sulfur haze to rout. Unfortunately, it's not quite working for him. I do actually rout here, but I rout the enemy army first, and in particular because I think I've killed or routed all of the commanders. Capcirco, incidentally, is up to 46 kills, so he's doing very good stuff. In any case, so I win the battle. I do lose pretty much my entire force here, but this is, at this point, a small fraction of my combat potential. I only actually lost 6 of my Malaya Druzhina. The Black Hoods I don't care much about, the Grid Druzhina I don't care much about. The Malaya Druzhina are really the only units that matter a whole lot. And they all retreated. 3 units make it back to friendly territory. Unfortunately, I think the Black Hoods and the Stiag died. I think I kept the Malaya Druzhina, which is good. And then I had a bunch of random events, and 2 of them were actually really good. So first of all, in the Yellow Caves, a Skopets was struck blind, which I don't care about. In Caverns of Gold, this is an event that happens because of the Throne of War, I believe, that I've just claimed. So my governor in Caverns of Gold has hired some men to serve in the upcoming war, and the same happened in Zox, and so that cost me 120 and 121 gold, respectively. Then in Zanthe, I found 158 gold, and in Yellow Caves, I found 8 fire gems. So, the opposite of my misfortune is starting to pay off. But those are really good events. They just give me about 40 units. This guy got 36, 16 heavy infantry, and 20 indie archers. And this guy actually got 42, which is technically more than he can lead. 19 heavy infantry and 23 indie archers. So, I say really good. These, under a lot of circumstances, basically what this does is this has given me these infantry, these basic indie units, for way less than the price that I would pay to hire them. If I was to hire this force, it would cost me about 400 gold, but I got it for 120. And same with this force. This force would cost me a little over 400 gold, about 450 actually, and I got it for 120. So it's basically a one-time massive discount on hiring indie troops. And in this case, it's given me exactly what I wanted, which is chaff, siege power. Overall, I've gotten about like 80 some siege power from it, which is pretty fucking sweet. Since that is the weakness of my armies at present. At present, my actual combat army, this force can, I'm quite confident, clean up Erythia's armies in the field, especially if I script it properly to avoid those sulfur hazes. But it can't siege down his fort to any real degree. He moved out a whole bunch of soldiers of the setting sun, I think in an effort to intercept me, but he missed me because I didn't go there, I went over here. So we're now going to pull back to Yellow Caves and consolidate. I've got Pafanuti over here who is blinded, so it has attack, defense, and precision all of 0. It's a good thing he's not expected to do any fighting. We've got Sverdislav who is throwing lightning bolts. We've got this army of Ulm over here. They just took that province and now they're moving back over this way. Oh, actually I can't concentrate there, can I? Because I'm giving that back to him. That's right. Okay, we're gonna concentrate right up here then. Here in Zanthe. And we can't really recruit much. We could recruit a couple of Black Hoods, could recruit a Stiag. Let's recruit a Stiag. Okay, so. Actually, that's, that's less than ideal then. All these guys gots to go. Yeah. Move over that way. So we're going to combine forces here. These guys have a morale penalty, but that's okay. So what we're going to want then is these guys are set to attack. These guys are set to hold and fire. These guys be set to attack rear, and I'm going to put them up there. So we'll have something of a line that will charge straight in, but hopefully half of the squad will also wrap around the northern flank and go for the commanders, because if he deploys multiple mages throwing Sulfur Haze, we'll want to kill them quickly. The thing about Sulfur Haze is just that the way he's using Sulfur Haze, quite effectively might I add, it just inflicts attrition no matter what I do. Pretty much any time I have troops moving in, I'm going to take attrition. So, you know, that's just kind of the price that has to be paid. But we have, thanks to that spawn there, and plus I have commanders taking forces from Bogarus and from Spires of Ascension, we've got a total of about 90 units showing up here. Now, most of them are archers. We have a lot of arrow power coming out for the first time here. Archers will work well on Therophorites. They will not work well on Erythian Hoplites or on Soldiers of the Setting Sun. So I should probably actually, to be honest, I should probably swap away from archers here and start recruiting like Peshtsi City Guard, just because they're actually effective at fighting. I can get fewer of them, but they'll do kind of better work. Yeah, 13 Pierce versus 16 Slash. The Slash is better. I could also get Voy Axeman. Or Indie Heavy. Yeah, I could get some Voy Axeman for the save the resources. Okay, let's do that. That'll give me a little bit more infantry punch. And then, of course, I've got all this Indie Heavy Infantry. And Indie Heavy Infantry hits hard enough to kind of go toe-to-toe relatively effectively with Erythian Infantry. Plus, I do still have 4 Malaya Družina per turn coming out, which helps. Okay, I've got 3 priests. I've got 3 Holy 3 priests, 3 Eparchs. Calling my god back. I'm going to get a 4th. That'll probably be enough. I'll end up with 5, actually, because this will take 1 command point out of my next turn, and I'll cancel that guy and go back to recruiting mages. This palisade will be done in 1 more turn, and I should move a mage up there. Let's actually send Pafanuti back, since he's a mage. I know I'm mispronouncing that horrendously, but that's okay. And Pozvitz is also going over there. Okay, so if Pozvitz can't go through there, actually, I want those troops. I want those 6 Malaya Družina. So he's going to go over there, then he's going to bounce back, and we really want to fort this as quickly as possible. I really do want to fort on that throne just ASAP. So, yeah, that will be the next priority. But I think, especially with the extra shot in the arm from these random troops, I think I can win this, especially because his mages, unless they spend turns buffing themselves, are not very arrow resistant. So you can do the old canard of splitting your archers up into multiple squadrons and have them all just on fire, targeting nothing, which means every squad will target randomly, and there's a decent chance that they will randomly target enemy mages. So I've got Yakim, who's a good commander. I've also, of course, got Kapsirko, who is an amazing commander. and gives +3 morale, so I can give him a ton of squads. Yeah, I think if they attack Zanthe, my only real concern... I think it's worth a shot, especially because Capsirco is lucky. Since he's a hero, he's lucky in combat. So he's unlikely to die anyway, and his defense skill is ridiculous. Like, this is high-level elf tier defense. His attack skill is also quite ridiculous, and his damage, he just hits like a fucking truck with the hero's blade. Now, of course, he only gets the lance charge once, but then after that, he's hitting with the hero's blade, which is enough to cut through that heavy armor. And then he gets the hoof attack, which is of moderate effectiveness, but very likely to hit, since he's attacking with attack 21. So even against heavily armored troops, he'll get a hoof hit in every now and then. So yeah, we'll hold there. I think my 22 Malaya Druzhina plus the limited support I can dredge up can hold this province. And just to make sure they can, I'm going to push province defense up to, yeah, 14 to get 4 more heavy cavalry. So I think even if he collapses on me with every unit he has, I think I can still beat him. Which would be swell. Like I said, Ulm's going to move in and take that one. I'm moving a commander over here to pick up all these crossbows. I've got 17 right now, and I'm pumping out actually quite a few more every turn. This is 8 per turn, looks like. Yeah, not bad. So I'll have another 6, I'll have more than 30 of them by the time that commander gets here. Another commander moving into the capital. Pick up troops to just kind of churn through here and head troops up north. We've got about 80 some odd, just about 80 random indie units that I got for free, or mostly free coming in. I think I got this war in the bag. In terms of research, still heading up to Conjuration level 5. Research is pretty slow. 2 more turns to Conjuration level 4. Still summoning Firebirds. That Fire Gem influx gave us enough to keep going for a few more turns. So we'll end up with like 10 odd, some number here. I'm actually, I think, going to swap out an Astropelagist for another Alchemist to speed up the fire burdening. But yeah, so next turn we'll have 12, we'll use up 6, we'll have 6. Next turn after that we'll have 8, we'll use up 6 more. And then turn after that we'll have 4, and we'll launch out in order to keep site searching some more. Speaking of site searching, those guys need to be site searching. And we've got scouts moving out, heading down into Patala, which is likely to be our next target, albeit not guaranteed. I haven't made my mind up about that. After Erythia, I may end up embroiled in something over here, or I may end up fighting Ulm. Fighting Ulm early wouldn't be a bad call, probably. Or, of course, fighting Patala early. Since Patala got off to such a slow start, they may be easy pickings, and easy pickings are my favorite kind. Also, fighting Patala would give me access to the Halls, which is another throne that I could potentially take away and use. It's led by a sorceress, so that makes me think it's probably a level 2 throne. These 2 thrones, the Iron Throne and the Silver Throne, would be incredibly useful. I mean, Silver Order I pretty much already have. Iron Throne, I don't, however, and this would be really good. Because if I'm not mistaken, even my Startsui can't really give me everything they can. I'm still unfamiliar with my own damn flag. Yeah, they can't give me Earth, so the Earth Astral Cross Path at level 2, pretty useful. I have it at level 1, but I would like it at level 2. So, if that's the Crystal Throne, or the Iron Throne, I'm sorry, then I'm super interested in it. If it's another level 1 throne, Throne of Flames would be nice. Throne of Ice would be fine. Throne of Winter would be great. Mages of Winter are perfectly good, perfectly chill. Throne of Might, don't really care about. Throne of the Stars would be fantastic. Throne of Stability, don't really care. The Moon would be good. Outer Throne would be great. Amazing, actually. Fortune, also amazing. The Throne of Creation, interestingly, I wouldn't necessarily want, at least not early on. So here's the thing. Throne of Creation really, really cuts down on my recruitment points, which would make it very hard for me to spam Malaya Druzhina, but it's also a massive bonus site. And with a construction bonus, plus the conjuration bonus, you just stack mages on the Throne of Creation, shit out rituals like crazy. And it gives you an amazing, because this stacks with Dwarven Hammers, for example. So if you can make a dwarven hammer, and you give it to somebody who's standing on the throne of creation, so he has a 20% bonus, and then another 20% bonus, and now he's turning out, you know, gems for... Actually, I'm sorry, it's a 20% bonus... It's 20% subtraction, then a 2 gem subtraction. Now he's turning out 5 gem items for 2 gems. You're in the money. Yeah, I mean, this is effectively Master Smith 1, or similar. A conjuration bonus costing a third less, that's great. And it produces resources. Throne of Creation would be amazing. And then the Throne of the Sun, yeah, sure, I like Throne of the Sun. If anything, since I took Cold 3, Throne of the Sun would actually help me. Oh no, I didn't get Cold 3, did I? I only got like Cold 1 or 2. Well, it is summer, actually, so I think I did get cold. It was at least 2, it may have been 3. In any case, the heat wouldn't particularly hurt me, and the order and growth would be fine. Because right now I'm slothy, I'm slothful, and not orderly. So having more order would be fantastic. In any case, that's the whole turn. We're just concentrating our forces, ready for another blow in our war against Erythia. And I will see you in turn 17. Alright folks, turn 17, let's look at our messages. We found a magic site, we found an enchanted pyre. Excellent, so our fire gem income has gone up by 1. That's great, because we are going to lose this fire income from the Crystal Flames fairly soon. Bunch of unexpected events. All of these unexpected events are, well, 2 of them are attacks by dogs. One of them is misfortune and unrest, and one of them is loss of dominion. So all negative, unfortunate, but hey, these things happen. We were attacked by packs of dogs. We destroyed them in both cases, that's fine. Packs of dogs are not terribly damaging, and we completed our palisades. We also got to watch a couple of Patala's battles. So Patala is now expanding reasonably well. He's got his man-eaters. He wiped out Erd very efficiently, minimal casualties. Runia, he took a lot of casualties in because barbarians just hit really hard, and Bandar warriors are bad at fighting them. But he had concentrated 2 armies there, which was wise. So his Bandar warriors basically traded straight across with the barbarians. He did lose 1 commander, but he kept over half of his force, so he's in decent shape. And then he was attacked by dogs and wiped them out with no casualties. Good on him. So, Patala is now in the game. I knew he was going to get in the game if I gave him time by attacking Erythia, but you know, I kind of had to pick which direction I was going, so I'm not too sad about that. I'm going to make contact with him and strike up some kind of a deal. I don't want him to attack me. Now, fortunately, he's going to have some kind of trouble attacking me. He'll have to go through here because he can't cross this river. So this province, from this province, he can launch attacks on me. From this province, if he took it, he could launch attacks on me. But he can't strike straight from here into my territory or from here, which is nice. That's definitely a plus. And of course, he has man right here, and I believe there was some discussion of fighting man. Let me actually check Discord real quick. Who was that was talking about fighting man? That was... Pythium. I've had a little chat with Patala, but I haven't, yeah, I haven't made a deal with him. I probably do want to make a deal with him just to make sure to keep him off my back while I'm eating Erythia. But after that, he may well end up being my next target. Now, the Throne of War that I claimed spawns these barbarian attack events. It just hit Utgard with a doozy. He's got over 100 barbarians besieging his fort. Now, fortunately for him, independents never storm forts, so this won't actually take the fort away from him. It's merely reducing his income and preventing him from recruiting anything there. So, I mean, okay, that's not a huge problem. Pozvidst is leading his troops over here. We're moving Pafnuti, sneaking over to Annika, where I desperately need to build a fort, but I don't have the money right now. And up here, we've assembled these forces, and we've got more forces rolling up straight behind them. So we're going to have about 100 units in this province next turn. Actually, it's more than that. We're going to have about 120, almost 100, or 130 units in this province next turn, rolling on up. We've also got Kapsierko with his 23 cavalry, and then Yakim with his various units. I'm actually going to just give that guy to him. You can have him instead. Okay, so yeah, 23 heavy cavalry, 1 Stiag for the banner effect, and then Yakim here has 11 random units plus a few archers. So Yakim is splitting off to take the Unknown Marshes. Capcirco is heading over this way to take the woodlands. We've got this army coming up here. Next turn it will move to Zanthe, and then we'll move straight in to besiege Erythia. And that siege may take a while, because it has wall integrity 750. It has quite a few defenders. Now, some of them are mercenaries who will go away in 3 turns. So, since he's hired these mercenaries, that means that he must be planning to launch an attack. There's no reason to hire mercenaries unless you're planning to launch an attack. So this is kind of a risky move on my part, splitting up to take these provinces like this, because he could potentially cut my retreat here by taking Zanthe, and then also send troops to fight in the woodlands against Capcirco. Now, I think if he sent most of his army, he could probably beat Capcirco. Because Capcirco has, like I said, 23 cavalry. He himself is very, very dangerous. But fundamentally, the 23 cavalry probably couldn't beat a line of 70 or 80 enemy infantry, especially if it was, you know, primarily soldiers of the setting sun, which are tough. I mean, they're not great sacreds, but they are fairly tough. Now, I've got them set to attack rear, and I'm offsetting them slightly from the center of the map, which should help, because what that would hopefully mean is they'll be able to flank around, curl over, and hit the commanders in the rear, including whatever mages he has. And it will make them less vulnerable to being caught in the sulfur haze that he's casting a lot of. On top of that, I do have the mages moving in with him, and those mages will, of course, be summoning lesser air elementals. So I think if he gets into a fight with Capcirco's army, I'm hoping that even against this whole force, they can basically just win outright. I do have 14 province defense here, so a small force will probably be defeated if they try to take this province. The mercenaries could probably do it, because they're better than heavy infantry. They'll take some casualties from the heavy cavalry, but they're just mercenaries. He doesn't care. But losing this province isn't a big deal, because I'll just take it back next turn with Posvid's army moving up from the south. Likewise, Yakim will be over here taking that province, then maybe that province, if it's lightly defended, it'll be nice to get, but I don't plan on being able to get it. I anticipate that this province is actually... No, that province is blocked off by a river, so it's probably not owned by Pythium. That province must be owned by some... Well, actually, Pythium does have cold scales. He might own that province. I'm not sure. We'll try and take a look. In the meantime, though, that's about all that's going on. For research, we're about to hit Conjuration level 4, which will give me nothing particularly much except for Alkonosts. It will allow me to summon Alkonosts, which are pretty cool. And then, as I hit level 5, I'll be able to summon Gamayuns, if I want to, and Zmays if I want to, which realistically I don't. Zmays are not very interesting or useful. I could also send Lady Midday with my higher level mages, but I don't want to do that either. I've got 4 priests calling God, so that's 12 points all told per turn. Should have him back in about 3 more turns. I'm starting to recruit more Masters of Names, because I want the higher research, and then I'm also still recruiting Astropelagists, more slowly for combat use. Over here I was recruiting an Alchemist, but we're going to swap away from Alchemists back to Astropelagists. That will be fine. Still summoning Firebirds. Actually, Pafnuti, you should head down here to help site search. Actually, no, because these guys are heading this way, so they have 1, 2, 3, 4 provinces to site search down there. 2, 3... Yeah, you should actually head up that direction. Site search, site search. Just get as much site searching done as I possibly can. That province has already been site searched. You can... just keep researching. Okay, so, yeah. Pretty decent shape. Pretty confident about this whole war with Erythia thing. I'm cutting him off steadily for more and more income, so he shouldn't be able to recruit a whole lot more troops, especially if he wants to be recruiting mages at the same time. And it should be pretty decent. So, thanks for watching. I will see you all in turn 18.